Hey everybody, and welcome back to the next reveal here. It's going to be the NWA roster reveal for the Fig Fed. Now again, this is not the current NWA, it's not the old school NWA. This is just basically the NWA Fig Fed. So here's my Forbidden Figurine NWA title. Obviously you can get the Jax version of this very soon. Jax. Not Jax, Marvel has an NWA title, Powertown has an NWA title, and Mattel has an NWA title. Obviously, it won't be as detailed or as decaled. And you can tell right there, there's Forbidden Figurine emblem. They've also got the NWA Television Championship white strap. I can only find it in white. I think black's available somewhere out there. Unfortunately, this one did get a little bit of silver damage, so it kind of went black a little bit right there. There's a little smudge, unfortunate. So I'll be the mark for a new one in the future. Then you have the NWA tag titles again. Forbidden Figurine strikes again. You can always get these with the Marvel NWA TNA belts, but they're smaller. And then for the heck of it, I decided, because I don't have the United States title yet, I just decided to add in the WWE World Heavyweight belt as kind of like, again, with if you follow the rosters, you know that the AEW belt is kind of the Continental is on a different show. It's kind of like a representation of future programs. So that's what I have for those belts right now. Let's get started with the roster. So this one, a lot of ultimates. Well, they're all ultimates, but a lot of custom ultimates. Two, though, however, that are not custom are these two, so I'm just going to briefly show them. Again, they're not anything to write home about because you can buy these ones. In fact, one's getting an update pretty soon, but Usos got selected, so there's the Usos. So yeah, when I get the white Jey Uso, then him and Jimmy will be breaking up and having feuds, of course, for another tag team. But let's start. So this person was selected. A little bit more jacked, obviously, than most people probably would want it, but this is the best way I can make my Ultimate Sin Cara. Because the mask covers up the skin tone entirely on the face, so you can easily just pop onto any body. He could go paler or whatnot. This is the closer you're going to get to. I'm not, darker, like Latino kind of color. Obviously, you can get Eddie Guerrero. They have an Eddie coming out in the future. You might be able to use that as well. It's not going to really matter because just as long as the hands and the skin doesn't matter, the mask covers everything. Then this one here, I was going to use a Jimmy or Jey Uso torso. I had it painted to remove all the tattoos. I've seen people build one with this one, but when I tried building it, it kept leaving a giant gap, and it was really bothering me. And I think it's because that torso is unique. It's more of a bigger guy, and this guy is not, so his lower just kept causing it to pop out and leave a gap. So I had to go with an Eddie Guerrero spare torso I had around to make Ultimate Alberto Del Rio. Now, I'd love to switch out the arms for double joint, but I haven't been able to find anything that's perfect yet. I'm gonna look into the Samoan line. I'm gonna look into other areas as well. I had the decals myself. I could add his tattoo right here. I'm not sure if I'm gonna do that yet or not because it's not the biggest issue to me. So I also wish I'd gotten a little bit more spaced apart there, but unfortunately, when the setting took place, the sticker fell down and I couldn't lift it as much as I wanted without tearing into it. I only had one copy, so maybe in the future I'll buy a second one just for the heck of it and reapply it. Wouldn't be too hard to remove that. Anyway, this one here I did not make myself. I have, however, gotten a few of these, and so I've used them for other people. But Cowboy Bob Orton, Ultimate. Pretty simple right there. This one here was originally an Elite Ultimate or Elite Custom. I turned into an Ultimate because I had an AJ lying around. It worked really well. So here is Tony Mama Luke. Now, if you're like, who's this? FBI in 2006. Nunzio and him were in the ECW brand together. Nunzio had already, Johnny Stamboli and Chuck Palumbo were long since gone, or maybe Chuck might have been a Raw, but Stamboli was definitely gone. He left in 2005. And went on to become Relic. So, very happy that I was able to do this. I'm going to do this also with the Shannon Moore body pretty soon, I think. So, next one here, I was going to do this one long ago. I kept getting cold feet on it. Then I finally saw someone did it recently. So I went and got the decals because his tattoo was missing a little bit. And then I realized I got the one with all the decals. So, Ultimate Eric Young. And you can see I updated the arm. He didn't have tats on this arm at all during the figure make. But then he went out and got tats. And he got tats. So, it's a little awkward though, because I remember that this was supposed to go higher up, and so I just kind of moved that tattoo in the way, because that tattoo was entirely covered by the wrist tape, so I didn't really care because I know he has a tattoo up there, so I just kind of added that one in there. Oh, this one also, expensive conversion, not really necessarily, just the head and the overalls really, and then you just need a Goldberg body, and you got yourself a Hillbilly Jim. Now I thought about going and buying 2 more of these and taking the overalls off of them and putting them on a Henry O. Godwinn and a Phineas Godwinn, because there's heads you can get out there from Tom Veg or others, and making a set of Godwinns. They wouldn't have the shirts, of course, but they wrestled in just the overalls when they were heels. So maybe I'll just do heel gimmick Godwinns. Who knows? Next one here, you can do this. I did. I didn't care for the drop down hips. Of course, you can just go buy his new one if you don't care about the drop down hips. Right now, it's pretty pricey because even though it's made available, it's been gobbled up by everybody because he is the current champion. But here's my Ultimate Custom Cody Rhodes. Originally, I was going to go with the white attire from that 4-pack, but that thing ballooned up in price. So, looking at the available selection at the time, I decided let's just go with this one. I like the tealish, grayish kind of blue color. Looks good. Obviously, he's got multiples. You can do different versions. I didn't care for that mustard yellow greenish one. This one just recently got made. So if you follow me on the Facebook group or whatever, Custom Figs, this one I recently just did. I used X-Pac kick pads. I painted them black. I covered over them, and then I modged them. I'm debating on, well, if I can get the decals, I will clear this off, and then I will just put the decals. But for now, here's a work in progress Jake Atlas. Obviously, I used his knee pads from his basic figure. It was originally an Edge, if you couldn't tell. I put on some Ric Flair legs, Ric Flair torso. Skin tone matched really well. Switched out the arms, I think, with a Macho Man arm. And then just basically put on the kick pads from X-Pac. Or sorry, not a Macho Man, X-Pac arms. Worked just as well. So, if I can find someone to make the decals, I've sent off the request for 2 decal specialists to make them. I know they just made Hideo Tommy's. I know they just made the Wildman Mark Marrow. So if I see this one, I'll snag that one, and I will finish him up entirely. You can also do the black attire with the decal if you wanted to. He had a chase. That was the white was the chase. The black was the standard. This one I made using the original the Jax Brian Christopher head, but then I went out and got the custom head because it fit well. Looks great. Painted well. There is Grandmaster Sexy. This is pretty much taken from his Jax Classic Superstar look. If they ever make a Scotty with the zebra stripes or whatever it is, obviously you could do that, but you have to manually put on like a decal that says Grandmaster or something like that, or Sexay, because he is not made in figure form. However, he was made in elite figure form, and I've altered him up pretty quickly. Scotty Ultimate right there. And really, like I said, these things bend, they twist, they don't crack. Little, I think I used an Austin torso for him. I could have went with the AJ torso. But Scotty, I've seen him, he wrestled here and there. I think he wrestled in AEW recently, and he'd gotten a little bit bulkier, so it's okay. This one also was a recent update. I'd seen people left and right turning this one into their own version of Ultimate as well. I just went with the red trunks with the black knee pads. Terry Gordy. I believe it was a Terry Funk torso I used. And then he matches up really well. Now, I built this one long before Terry Gordy was announced. Originally, I was trying to build a Terry Gordy to add to this. And so I built this one using this Shawn Michaels, threw on Michael Hayes' head, switched out the arms, and you've got Michael Hayes and Terry Gordy. This one I didn't build, so I'm not, I will update to the probably the black attire when it comes out in the Coliseum collection. But this one's not bad either. But you got Ricky Steamboat, the person who did this, loved connecting different torso pieces, and I thought about doing it with that, with the Alberto Del Rio at one time. I was thinking I should have just used the jacked torso lower with the smaller, set, but at the time I didn't think about it. This next one here, yes, I know he's got knee pads. He shouldn't have anything, but and for the most part, you're right. I mean, I did see him wrestle sometimes with wristband or wrist tape at least. But here's Norman Smiley. So I used basically, it was a Apollo Crews originally Ultimate. I just had the spare parts lying around. The Apollo Crews I had already updated, so I had them lying around. Switched out the legs, so you could have the white kick pad, or the white kick, the white boots. He wrestled in blue, he wrestled in yellow. Mostly iconically, I think it was yellow. I'm thinking about switching out the legs still, so I can just have nothing, because he did that, but I have to go through the process. I'm still waiting on the parts to arrive for that. The paint job on this is flawless. You can't really tell. There's Norman Smiley. This person just got released recently, and I originally had him just in blue trunks with boots and whatnot, and I finally switched him over, lowered the boots, got him into shorter size, and I made Drew Gulak. Decals, of course, as well. So he'll be good in the NWA. Who knows if he gets a contract or not? Well, it depends on how his win record is. It's all random. I'll roll the dice, basically. This one, of course, you've seen people make Giant. You've seen people make versions of him. So it's nothing too special. But for me, I finally got, a Big Show Ultimate, to Andre, add the decals. I'm not sure where the head came from. I know the head is from the Jakks, or the Mattel line for sure, probably an early basic. I went with kind of a hodgepodge, gave him those long kick, knee pads that he kind of wore later on, which I think he had 2 strap singlets by that time, but it works. It stands out. It's unique. It didn't look like Andre just with that giant or Big Show head on there, so I wanted to make sure it didn't look the same. Last one I was very happy with. I didn't apply the decals myself because at the time I was scared to do it, but the head was painted by Cujo. Props to him. I sent him so much work. Don't worry, Cujo, if you ever watch this stuff, you did a phenomenal job in the probably 30 people I've sent you, and another 25 still on the way. But eventually we'll run out of stuff to build. Don't worry. Our partnership, as far as you painting heads to match skin tones and bodies, will probably run out because eventually I'll run out of people to build. For the most part, I'm hoping that's not the case. But unless they build new bodies or bigger bodies, I for the life of me can't figure out how to build a Rikishi. I thought using a Yoko would work, but with his paint and my body putting together skills and this person applying the decals, of course from Curb Stomp, I was able to build Perry Saturn. And I like the yellowish gold attire. I thought that was sick. He did wear multiple different stuff, purple, red. I was watching a lot of Heat when I got the inspiration to start building a lot of these guys. Because I was like, man, a lot of these guys just never got any love past, maybe one figure. Some of these guys got no figures whatsoever. So I really wanted to try to build people. So that's why I'm still building Disco Inferno. I'm still planning to build S.A. Rios, Rodney Mack, Chris Nowinski, those people, as well as Hugh Morris, and just other people along the way. I mean, if Mattel knocks them out of the park, great. It'll be easier for me to convert them, but otherwise, my focus is building my own. So, and of course, I told my little brother I'm going to stop building so many once I get this initial run done, probably maybe 1 or 2 a month, especially when I try to go buy a house, because I'm not getting any younger and I want to retire one day, and I also want to help him and his wife and his kids out. So I was like, near the end of this last little huge batch I'm throwing out here, I'm going to start winding it down to like 1 or 2 a month, which you won't see it for a long time, because if I do What's the Formula, I only do 1 a week, so I've still got tons. That's only 20 more. Stay tuned for the next video. Till next time.